Welcome friends! Today I have some commentary and footage of the game Dota 2. Specifically I'm playing the Zeus hero alongside Broodmother, Sven, Ursa and Drow Ranger versus Wind Archer, Ricky, Huskar, Templar Assassin and Bloodseeker. The video will be talking about Zeus, who has been my favourite character so far, and thoughts on the game itself for those that haven't already given it a go. So first, the game in general. I'm late with getting into the craze of this one, really late if we count the original Dota. However, I originally disliked the game due to the fact that there was only one map. I thought to myself, how can you play one map constantly and not get bored? However, the game hinges on the variety of heroes or characters you can choose from, the combination and synergy that those heroes can have when you use them together, and finally what item combinations you decide to pick with each other. And this seems to be infinite. I say seems to be for a good reason, as there are a lot of cookie cutter builds out there, and personally I have been sticking somewhat to guides so far and default suggested items for each character. There is also a lot of small tactics and team play elements that come into play from this variety of heroes or characters. Firstly, most heroes have a number of roles they are particularly good at, nuker, healer, etc. But there are two main big umbrellas they come under, if you're a support or a carry. A carry is a hero which gets better as they progress in the game and relies on getting money for their items in the early game. A support is usually someone with more health and damage early game that still has potential late game but isn't your I win card late game. I like to think of late game carries as Deus Ex Machina. The way to get money fastest in the game is by getting the last hit before an enemy NPC is killed. This is what is called last hitting. I can't say that I'm that good at last hitting, but in this particular game it is my task to help Broodmother, played by my friend Ed, to get his last hits, and get more money because I'm a supporter Zeus and he is the carry. In the late game, he is a total destructive enigma. The interplay of carries and supports here is also playing out. In this game we were trying our hardest to harass Huskar, who is notoriously good at holding the middle lane. We were trying to ultimately kill him, but in the short term harass him away from our creeps, and thus damaging both his XP gain and money gain so he didn't become too strong, as he is a carry. So firstly, another tactical element is choosing your lanes and who you lane with. There are 3 lanes and lots of teams put 2 up top, 2 down bottom and 1 in the middle. In the game after the first few levels, this often rotates and teams begin to try and gank people on one lane, where they outnumber them. And also when this happens, group battles often occur, which can shift the whole game if a whole team dies and their towers are left defenceless. The second point is that creeps have a radius where they give you XP upon their death. Harassing an enemy player is trying to get them away from this radius so they get less XP, and that leads ultimately to them having a slower stats and being less powerful. Finally, worth mentioning for now is that towers are places that are relatively safe in the early levels, and act as barriers to other players pushing forwards towards their base. They also stop each team's creeps, which are NPCs, from reaching the next tower and ultimately their base. Taking down these is a very important part of the game. Also behind the last tower to the base is 2 barracks, which if destroyed, give mega creeps to the opposing team, and there are 3 sets of these, 1 on each lane. These mega creeps are much stronger and often erode a team's base over time. Destroying these is devastating. Anyway, I've been having a blast playing Dota 2 and love the competitiveness and micromanagement, quite like the click-based RPG type combat version of Counter-Strike Go. So on to Zeus. Zeus is my favourite character because he is individually powerful. He has some very damaging spells. Also, most of his spells AoE. One of his spells used a lot in the game is the Lightning Bolt, which casts a true sight around an enemy hero. The enemy called Ricky I kept killing mistakenly ran very predictably towards me. Ricky's deadliness is in his invisibility, and when hit with the true sight, that removes it. It also does a truckload of damage. The second and most used attack is Arc Lightning, which does some nice damage and also can pass through enemies and hit lots of people. It is good for shooting at the start on creeps and then hitting the enemy hero behind. It essentially gives you extra range and is great for harassing carries in early game. He also has a static field which is passive but hurts enemies proportionally to their current health around him and can just up his damage output that extra bit. Finally, he has the Thunder God's Wrath, which mistakenly, in my opinion, gives Zeus the nickname the Kill Stealer. However, the Thunder God's Wrath is what makes Zeus so fun to play. Basically, it hits every enemy hero across the map with a thunderbolt doing some damage. It is often used to kill heroes who have won a 1v1 duel with your ally, narrowly escaping with a tiny bit of health and your ally dies. Or enemies who try to run away from you, or your allies when they are low health but they are faster so you can't catch up. I only ever mistakenly killsteal when I misjudge how fast they are. The other use is to soften up enemies in team fights. If all heroes are in one big fight, a chunk of each of your enemies can tip the whole battle in your team's favour. Finally, the Thunder God's Wrath also grants True Sight, so if there's a super stacked carry you're sure is around somewhere, you can highlight them on the map whilst doing a bit of damage. I so love to play this because it makes you feel like a part of the whole map, and you're constantly waiting for people to shout you on mic, and watching those who are fighting that don't talk too much to back them up. Zeus, in my opinion, is a great team member to have when played well, and can get so many assists and some kills. I've seen some Zeuses played very badly though. Anyway, I'm still nowhere near good at Dota 2, but I'm sure having fun at it. I hope you all enjoy this content, and I think it's an interesting game to go alongside CSGO, a small competitive shooter, and Planetside 2, which is a big competitive shooter. This is something completely different. So if you like this video, be sure to like and comment if you didn't, or comment if you have a question, and click that subscribe button up top if you want to see more. Until next time everyone, Joshino.
The Seeker's coming on.
Got him.
To battle.
Ricky's here.
Leave me something.
Sound advice.
Fuck you, Ricky. I've already done
There is. I've got True Sight on him.
Your top tower is under attack.
See closer now.
Yeah, we're pretty, there's three of us here, we're pretty hard though.
Your prayer answered.
Your top tower has fallen.
After
Oh
that.
fuck. Oh, well, there's only two of them alive. Oh god. Yeah, let's just keep going.
A position of power. Forward.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Ready,
The
man?
enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Beware.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Heaven help you.
Bloodseeker's there.
I got stuck on my things.
Let's take
Divide.
down
Your
Barracks.
bottom tower is under attack.
Oh my god, I'm so nearly dead.
Your bottom tower
she did.
has fallen.
Take down the Barracks.
Spawn.
Yeah,
The enemy's middle barracks has fallen.
I really think we should get that. I literally just need something that gives me health. Why?
Bloodstone.
A position of power.
That gives you a fuck ton of health. My
do you get?
supports, it doubles your health.
500 health, 400 mana.
Your
As you do
bottom
the
tower
thing
is
where
under
you-
attack.
Fuck me, this is a shot.
I ordain it. Did you think you could hide from a god? Sound.
Bottom tower is under
First
attack.
time I've ever dominated Ricky as Zeus.
Onward.
The enemy's top tower has fallen. Your bottom tower
Oh,
is
hey,
under
Scarf.
attack.
I actually might be quicker than him.
Sound
Fuck,
advice.
never just slip then. Damn it.
You can almost get Agno sector.
Your prayer
Got
answered.
radiance.
Here comes the Scar again. And we're up to 3.
Got him! Spencer's there.
Sven's gonna
It's
Oh,
not
this
enough
Sven's
time
gonna
yet.
kill him. Oh, we're not gonna kill him.
Never to battle.
There you go.
Smaller.
Another one here.
Very good.
get away.
A position of power.
Fuck you, Ricky.
A position of power.
Ow, they got on me. Oh, man.
I'm not ready.
Oh, no. Just something got me, actually.
Wait.
Anything
Alright, cleaned up, don't worry.
I ordain it.
The enemy's bottom tower has
You done
fallen.
fucked him, man.
Sound
They're
advice.
going to get fucked.
Get them fucked. Get them fucked.
God help you now.
Creeps. Where are them creeps?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Very good.
Where are them creeps?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Very good.
These creeps, please come. I need little spiders. Yeah. Oh great, I
To
killed
battle.
the guy before I could even attack. Wow. I got all my little spiders. there, guys.
Your prayer answered. I ordain war.
There goes one.
Undefended.
Monster kill! Oh, yeah,
It's just the
little
thing that
thing.
made it so that it really susceptible
Well, let me
to
kill one of
magic
these.
damage, and then Sven just
Very
one-hit him
good.
with his magic bolt wing.
Wow,
Pretty funny.
nice.
There goes this one.
Triple kill!
And that's why you killed him in like one
Onward.
The enemy's middle tower
Reach
has
for the
fallen.
sky.
The enemy's middle tower has
Which
fallen.
character shall I pick the counter?
Too bad.
Brute?
That's why you just... Oh my god, you're level 20.
A position of power.
Your top tower is under attack.
bad.
Wait for it. Sound advice.
Your top tower is under
Ricky.
attack.
It's not time yet.
I think we're just gonna win,
Forward.
to be honest.
Your top tower is under attack.
My king's still there.
Your top tower is under attack.
Divine invasion.
Dire
That was a quick game.
That was a good game. Yep. Must be played, I
I'll tell you why.
The
All about
gods
the
were
blazing
with us
badass
today.
motherfucker. 420, yo. 420, yo.
think. It's because you blaze.